we're going to start. Okay, welcome everyone. This is a new series I'll be doing. A couple of days ago, I've asked you guys on Discord to submit your replays. Not only subscribers, but anyone could have submitted the replays, no matter what race you're playing, Terran, Zerg, or Protoss, no matter the league. And all you need to do if you want to, be involved in future ones is check out my Discord server for more information how you can submit your replays. Basically, you upload the replays, you put a little bit of a description like a Diamond Zerg against a Diamond Protoss. This is what happened in the replay, and you're not sure why you lost, and that's it. Since I got like 15 different people emailing me this first time, I'm sure it's going to be a lot more next time. I randomly picked out some replays to analyze. So yeah, new series. Let me know how you like it. Let me know how you enjoy it. If you would like me to do something else as far as this series goes. But let's just get started. So the first game we have, let's check. This is Aztec, I think, that linked me. And you are, yeah, so he said he is a Diamond random player, which is on the right side. So I will be analyzing his gameplay. He left a short description that he's struggling with tank marine pushes. So let's see what he's doing from start to the end. I'm not just going to talk about the tank push itself, but everything I can see that he can do better. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try to go through these as fast as I can, and the only reason for that is so I can kind of go through as many replays as I can. Okay, first things first, this is your first mistake. The first Overlord can go across the map, the second one can do the scouting, well, kind of like you're doing, so that's a good job. That's something you should always do as a Zerg. Send the first Overlord across the map when you play against Terrans or Protoss. And then the second one, just check for proxies either here or here. Sometimes you might get lucky and just kind of win the game off of it. Now, the second thing is the moment you plant this hatchery, this should be with 17th drone, which is what you did. But you should keep making drones. Then the next drone that comes out should go on the gas, make an extractor. The next drone that comes should be spawning pool. And the way it works out is the moment the drone comes out, you will have enough minerals for the extractor. The moment the next drone comes out, you will have enough minerals for the spawning pool. And then you just kind of keep making drones, and the next three drones that you will make after that go straight into the gas. So it's just a little bit more refined way of doing this, because what he did here is didn't produce any larvae, or didn't produce any drones, and then now he has only 13 on minerals, or 14, when he could have had pretty much the same thing, except, well, 16 on minerals. So that's a little bit something there for you. Now let's check what else. The reason why I'm bringing it up, even though it's kind of like a small thing, that is because I see a lot of Zergs make this mistake, and I think it's so easy to fix, and it will help you guys a lot in the long run. Okay. Okay, so first things first, I would not be taking this base. I think this base is super risky to take as a Zerg, so try to take this one. You always want to expand away from the Terran, not closer to the Terran. Another reason why you don't want to take this base is because if Terran pushes with siege tanks here, you will get shelled on the bottom. If you break through rocks, you're going to have a really hard time engaging. While if you push here, the Terran kind of has to go through this very big open space, so you can kind of engage onto the Terran and just give him a lot more trouble. Another reason why you don't want to be expanding here is because if the Terran drops you in the main base with 2 medevacs, let's say you defend with all your units, you can just redrop here and then just kill your third. But if you take the base on this side, he can't do that because it's very far away. So it's a lot easier to deal with harassment if you expand like this instead of here. Okay. So basically, what a lot of pro Zergs do is next. Um, Usually they do, if you get a very, very, very fast third base, which is kind of the meta right now, what Zerg players do is inject in the main base and then spread creep with the first queen here, so they can kind of connect the third in the natural as fast as they can, so they can, well, defend the third, for example, from these Hellions. And then you continuously make queens, and every time a queen pops, you inject the hatchery, and then you move the queen forward to together with the rest of the queens defending the harassment. And then eventually when you have, I think like 6-7 queens is a good number, and eventually when you have that number, just leave one queen per hatch for the injects, and then use the other 3-4 queens to just kind of creep spread and defend the harassment at the same time, because with 3-4 queens you'll be able to spread quite a lot of creep. See, this is what's causing you trouble already. Because you didn't have creep spread already connected, you lost some drones here. See how many? 4 drones because of it. You're forced to make more links when in reality you should want to drone. Like you would want to be up to like 40 something drones at this point. But he was trading pretty efficiently, as you can see, and made you make a lot of Zerglings instead of actually making drones. These Zerglings should be somewhere around here, or counter-attacking on the other side. If you look at his main base, he has no wall off, nothing. If you ran like 8 links here, you would be able to pick off a lot of SCVs. And at the same time, these queens can't deal with these Hellions on their own, so never try to chase Hellions off of creep unless you're sure you can get us around, which it's usually not a good idea. And the reason why I say you want to put your links here is because sometimes Terran is feeling very naughty and wants to run up the Hellions. So if you have like queens here, he runs up, the links around, and then he loses all the Hellions, and that's kind of big advantage for the Zerg. These 2 spines, just kind of another thing that's putting you behind economically. And I think at the end of the day, that's why you're struggling with pushes. It's because your economy early game is kind of wrecked quite a bit. I do like 1 spore per base. I think if you go without spores, it's super greedy. So 1 spore can save you a lot of trouble. The creep spread definitely needs to be way more. So that's something you want to work on in every direction possible. And just try to follow the Hellions. So for example, now you saw the Hellions moving that way. You want to position your queens here, drop some creep tumors, and kind of just keep the creep going. And most of your games, the Terran will be pushing you on your last base. So every time you get a new base, make sure you start creep spread there straight away. Like you don't want to wait. If you get this base, if your creep is like here, you're probably going to lose the game. Creep is extremely important in TVZ, so that's something you need to practice and work on. Another thing is double Evo chamber. I feel is a must for sure. Upgrades are, in my opinion, probably the most important thing in TVZ when you play by against Ling Bane, especially because both Zerglings and Marines have super fast attack speed and low damage. So every attack upgrade that you get, the DPS increase is actually insane. So, for example, right now you're only on +1 attack while he's already on 1-1, and that makes a huge difference. So even though you're ahead at 20 supply, you're actually behind in this game as far as the army goes right now, and you're behind on the workers as well. So my suggestion is kind of pick your playstyle, have in mind what you want to do. So what I mean by that is, if you play against Terran, you should know if you're going to go for Mutaling Bane, or if you're going to go Ling Bane Hydra, which is the most popular one, into fast Ultras, or just Ling Bane into Ultra. My suggestion is just go Mutaling Hydra, Ling Bane Hydra, sorry, because that one is the easiest to play, and Hydras are incredibly good in TVZ. So that's something you probably want to be going for, and that way you can rush Hive relatively quickly to get the Ultras out, because that's kind of like your goal and eventually you want to get the Brood Lords out. Okay. These Hellions are causing you so much trouble. Okay. See, this is the thing. This is the thing, and this is what I'm talking about, and I don't mean this in a bad way. A lot of you, like I said, I've been coaching people for 7 years, and everyone has a different problem. Some people know how to micro, some people don't know how to macro. Some people know how to macro, don't know how to micro. And you left me a message saying that your engagements are not good and that you're struggling TVZ against Marine Tank. See, the thing is, your engagements are good. Like, this was perfectly fine. Look at this. Let's go through it again. This attack, I mean, you crushed him. Like, you wiped out his army. The engagement is not a problem. Your problem is the early game. Because why? If you go to the unit tab, you are 3 drones behind, which is not 3 drones behind. It's more like 15 because of mules.
Wow, very nice, very nice.
Thank you for the donation.
Thanks for streams. Keep it on 100% win rate.
So I'm gonna check who donated. Let me just finish this game. So in this game, again, you don't have 5th and 6th gas, and this is kind of very all-in attack, which is why you lose the games in the end. The other 8 minutes in this game don't really matter because your issue was the early game. So if you tighten up your early game, kind of do the things that I told you, get the queens out faster, get double evo chamber, get the creep spread rolling, don't overcommit on static defenses unless they're 1 spore per base, you'll be in a lot better position. Because if you had 70 drones right now, or 75, you win this game easily. Because you just killed whole Terran army, completely wiped out. You're gonna kill some SCVs here, and at this point, if you had 70 drones, 75, not only your supply would be like 120, but you would have more units, so your supply would be like almost 150 to 80, and the game is completely over. So I'm gonna look if there's anything else. Make sure you get the creep spread to kind of keep going. I really cannot emphasize enough how creep spread is important in TVZ. As a Terran, you have to clear it. As a Zerg, you have to have creep. It makes huge difference in the fights and engagements. If your playstyle is Muta, that's fine as well. I think the Hydra Link Bane is a lot better and a lot easier to play. It will allow you to transition to Ultra faster because mutas are also more gas heavy. But again, if you prefer mutas, go for it. I always tell people, no matter what race you are, it's always better to play what you feel comfortable with than something that you're not used to but is better. Okay. I see the same thing is happening. You're winning these fights. Like, you're killing his army, but there's no economy to back it up, which is how the Zerg is played. As a Zerg, you need to overwhelm your opponent, and you're just missing a little bit of extra units to kind of punch through. So, the answer to your game is tighten up your early game. I suggest checking someone like Snoot or Nurchio's games or replays and seeing how they play, how they position their queens, how they position their links, because hold up. Because how they defend is something that I found the most difficulty to deal with, especially Snoot. Like, Snoot is super hard to actually harass in the early game, and he just gets away with a bunch of drones every single game. This is another problem, doing this. Yep. So you don't want to do that. And let's look, what else? Okay, so that's pretty much it. Again, you stop the upgrades, which is also a huge problem. He was 2-2 and you were beating his army. So just get those upgrades. Keep teching. Don't stay on lair. The lair is the worst. Like you just don't want to stay for at the lair. You want to go for the ultras as fast as you can, and just make sure you keep expanding, keep your economy up, and you'll be good to go. And that's it. Okay, let's move into the next replay. But first, Yoriko SC, thank you so much for donating $2. Thanks for streams. Keep it up. Keep it on 100% win rate. Always, always, always. Okay, let's go next game. We're not gonna make any breaks. I'm not gonna cut this and transition. I'm just gonna do it raw. Raw cutie. Okay, so this replay. Oh, okay. Both of these guys were sending me a replay, but who sent it? Hold on, let me check.
Wow, it's very nice, very nice.
Next time get a GF that plays Zerg and knows how to bust your base properly with bannerlings. Kappa.
Liquid, thank you so much for donating $100. Damn. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. Next time, get a girlfriend. I don't know why I always read the messages, but I'm just used to it at this point, so what? Yeah, why not? Next time, get a girlfriend that plays Zerg and knows how to bust your base properly with Baneling's Kappa. Thank you so much, man. $100 is a lot of money. I don't know what to say. I always feel very awkward when people donate huge amounts of money because it's, you know. Yeah, thank you so much. Much appreciated, and I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. And I'll try to take your advice, but if she happens to be Protoss again, I'll have to deal with it. So much love to you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, and also, you are our Beast of the Month with the 100 straight away. Jesus. Oh god, not this again. I think I just done goofed. Oh no, I didn't. Thank you so much. Okay, this was sent by Court. So let's check from his point of view. For those who don't know, these replays are from Round Robin that are happening for my Clan War. I'm not going to go in it. You have the info in my Discord. It's for Clan Wars. Let's just put it that way. So both Conqueror and Court are my team/clan. And Court sent me this replay, so let's check it out. These guys are both Masters players. So let's see what they're doing. Okay, so Court going Rax Gas, and then Conqueror going Rax Gas, and Court going for Gas first. I think Gas first is better in TVT. A little mistake losing the SCV there, but what you gonna do? Oh, you lost 2 SCVs. It's kind of big, TBH. Make sure you run away with your SCV scouting, because losing it and losing your natural is actually a kind of big deal to lose 2 this early in the game, because you're already 2 SCVs behind. Okay, 2 Reapers. Nice. Oh. Okay, I like that. Ooh, straight into Starport. Interesting. Ooh, and Conqueror going straight into 3 racks. Okay. So let's see, what does Court know? He saw Marauder there, so he should know, or you should know at this point that it's 3 racks, right? Because, I mean, who the hell is gonna make a Marauder? So what I would be doing is going straight for tanks here, because if he was going 3 racks and you're doing this 1-1-1 opening, all you need to do is defend it, get a 3rd, and you will get ahead in economy this way. Now, I'm not sure if Court knew this already, so he's not scouting with the Reapers, but you at least want to have your Reapers here, so you know when he's moving out, and with enough kind of practice, you're not going to lose the Reapers the moment the Marines come out. Because right now, Cord is completely blind and has no idea if the army is moving out or not. I think what's going to happen, I can already see it, is the Conqueror is going to push with 3 racks and Cord is just straight up going to die because he did not make a siege tank. But let's look. I can see he's going a reactor on the factory, and he's not going to have units. Like, there's no way he's going to be able to defend this. What came out of the starport? Wait, did he make anything out of the starport? I don't think he did. Unless I'm blind. Like, right now, this is where he saw the Marauder. Reapers just ran away. Right now, you should have made a Liberator even. Swapped the factory on the tank lab, just made a siege tank. Reactor pumping on Marines, 600 minerals. Get a 3rd CC, get a bunker, and just wait. You're already ahead because you have the 3rd CC going. That should have been your reaction after seeing the Marauder. Because again, there's no other build that Marauder gets put in that early in the game, except when you are doing 3 racks. The reason why people don't usually go 3 racks is because it's very vulnerable to Cloak Banshees. Because there's simply no way for him to actually kill a Cloak Banshee if the other Terran is microing it. But let's look what happens. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay, so look at it. I'm gonna try to explain this way. So Conqueror had a plan. His plan is 3 racks. I'm gonna push. Meanwhile, you Court didn't really have a plan. You opened Double Reaper, but it feels like after that everything you were doing is kind of random and didn't really make sense. Like making the starport and making nothing out of it. I'm not sure what the cause of that is. Next time if you play against 3 racks, go Cloak Banshee and siege tanks and 3rd base. What ended up happening is you made starport basically for nothing because it wasn't used at all. And then you tried to mimic what he was doing, except everything you did was delayed. So what I mean by that is you try to catch up to 3 racks as fast as you could. But the problem is, if you look at the units, you have 4 Marines, he has 20. And you're getting the 3rd base, and you're gonna try to land it in the position without you having stim yourself, I think. And without having shields, and without having +1. And you just got completely overwhelmed. So the correct response there was to go Cloak Banshee while being defensive, because that, instead of giving him the opportunity to have the whole map for himself, you would have the map control with the Cloak Banshee. You would know exactly what he's doing. You would know when he's going to land his 3rd, and you can kind of keep him back until you catch up with the upgrades. But you skipped that part and you went straight into the 3rd. Got completely caught. I mean, you have stim here, but it's 22 against 41 Marines with +1 and shield. So these 2 siege tanks can't really do too much. If these siege tanks were like here and he attacked into the choke, he would win. But this was on way too open of a ground to kind of catch up. And that's it. That is pretty much it. Not much to say about this one. This was a short game, but my advice to you is get like a stable build and kind of stick to it. See what happens. Let's say every time you expand, if you meet a Reaper expand against Reaper expand yourself, always go for Cloak Banshee and then kind of see how you should react when certain things happen. I see a lot of people play like not necessarily reacting to things, but just kind of being like, oh, he's doing this. I need to switch up everything I ever known in StarCraft, and that's what causes people to lose. Number one advice I give to Terran players is have one build per matchup, and don't change the build. Change the way you use your buildings and units. So what I mean by that is, if you see bio push, don't add, 3 factories just cause. Stay on one factory, what you know to do, but just make either proper units out of those production buildings, whether it's tanks or Hellions or Vikings or Ravens, and position them properly. That's it. Because the worst Terran is not a race like Zerg or Protoss. You cannot, tech switch. You're going 1-1-1. You just have to learn how to use the barracks, fact, and the starport, and use them at best of your ability, or their ability, possible, and just kind of read the situation and respond accordingly, but not by switching the build order completely. Just the units that you have, use them properly. Okay, let's go next one. Once again, Liquid, thank you so much for the $100. Damn. I think that's the highest. Oh no, it's not. It's not. Never mind. Never mind. I potatoed. Whew, but that's a lot of money. My life for Iron, not even a sub. I'm just joking. Okay. This Protoss' name, I don't know if he's from Balkan area, but his name, Uragan, means hurricane. He might be like from France and means something else, but fun fact. Okay, my life for hire. I know he's been picking Terran recently, but I know he's a random player. He's Diamond 2, I think. Wait, what? Wait. What just happened? Okay, so I remember his message. He said something weird happened with the pylon building and zealot rushing. Okay, so let's look. Okay, you're scouting. Alright, he took your gas. At this point, I wouldn't really... The first thing I think of when people take my gas...
Friendly. No workers will ever be harmed by an oracle. Very worker friendly. No workers will ever be harmed by an oracle.
The first thing I think of when people take my gas in TVP is that he's gonna all-in me with one base or do something one base. So that's something to have in mind. Okay, so you scout, you see 2 gates. Okay, instantly here, I would there's 2 options. You can either make the CC on the low ground and make a bunker and just continue your normal way, which is the more risky, I guess. So if you want to play super safe, what I would have done is, when this barracks is done, make a Marine, don't make a Reaper, because you know what he's doing already. He's going 2 gates, so you don't need the Reaper to scout the Protoss, you got the scouting done already. So I would go Marine into straight factory, make a depot, and then I would make a bunker like right here, and then expand after the factory. So because you're limited to 1 gas, you can't really go 1 base, but you don't really need to go super fast expand because you take the risk of dying. So I think going straight into Marines at a factory, make a Cyclone, expand would be the best thing, with the bunker as well. Okay, so let's see. Here you see the gases are super late. And you should know that he can't really rush like Stargate out of this. Again, I'm just trying to read what I would kind of think if I saw this. So you saw 1 gas. So there's no way he's gonna have like a, Stargate and Stalker pressure. This is probably gonna be Adepts, or just Stalkers and nothing else, or Zealots. So he makes... Oh, I see what he does. This is a wrong response. So when you actually play Protoss and when you do stuff like this, you want Terran to kind of do this because he doesn't care that you're pulling SCVs, because you're not gonna kill this fast enough. So you're just losing your own mining time. So again, make a factory. The reason why he's making these pylons, this pylon is to block your add-on, which is actually useless at this point because you would be making Marines, not a Reaper, because again, you did your scouting, and this pylon is so you can't put a deep one wall off. His build is actually really bad, but this is one of those things that I think throws you off because it's actually uncommon. So what I would have done, like I said, make marines, make a factory, put a bunker here even, if you're scared that he's gonna run up the ramp, and that's it. As simple as that. Depot right here. Depot. Depot. I mean, you should still be fine. You have a cyclone on the way. I mean, you definitely lost way more than you should have. But you're still ahead in this game because this build is, like I said, it's a bad build. 2 adepts. Nice, good defense, good defense. Now this is again the same thing. People, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but so many Terran players get so thrown off by these kinds of weird, unconventional builds, and I don't really know why. Every time I coach someone, I tell them, no matter what happens, okay, no matter what happens, let's say this guy did this. All you would do, or what I would do, is again, make marines, make a bunker, make factory, throw down the CC, make a cyclone, and you just continue your build how you initially wanted to whatever you wanted to do. Okay? So, you don't need to be like, oh, I have no idea what to do now. Just add +2 barracks. You can even make a siege tank if you want. Get a second gas, mine gas here. Just continue playing your game. Don't get thrown off. There's no reason. Look at it this way. Every time someone does a 1 base into expand, you don't need to change up your whole build. You're delaying whatever you were doing just a little bit, just like he is. Because I see this so often, where someone defends an all-in, but then they just completely derp, and they don't know how to transition, and the Protoss goes like 2 nexus behind it, and just wins the game because of it. So don't be thrown off. This was a little bit of a potato defense. You could have done it better, but you're still fine. You're not going to lose the game. Still fine. This Reaper, after defending those initial 2 Zealots, should have gone straight across the map. Okay, you're doing a little bit of scouting here. I like that as well. Straight across the map. And the first thing you want to check is, did he expand after this? Because every time you play against something weird, you want to be like double checking everything because the opponent is playing weird. So here, because this guy played weird, I would check my gold, I would check his gold, I would check his natural, I would check his third, I would check his main, and I would expect everything. I would have expected DTs, I would have expected Oracle after this, so you just want to play safe whenever you play against something this weird. Because, without trying to sound mean, the players that do play really weird and unconventional, the reason they're doing it is because they can't play the normal way. So they're throwing off their opponents by playing weird and kind of making up for the skill gap between their opponents and them. And this is true. I mean, it might sound like mean, but it is true. So here, let's see what you do. Okay, you scout the Nexus. So now your next job is what tech is he going for? That's what you want to know. This is another mistake that every single Terran player does. They scout the Nexus. And they're like, there's probes. I'm going to kill probes. But you have no idea what is going behind this. So your number one job with the Reaper is scouting. So you did scout that he's expanding, but you need to know what tech he's going for. And this is, again, it's top 3 mistakes that people make. They see probes, they see drones, they see SCVs, they're like, oh my god, I gotta kill it no matter what. And then they lose to the Reaper and they die to whatever is coming next. So make sure you get your scouting, and once you're like, okay, he's doing this and this, then you can go for the probes. Because right now, you did see a lot of stalkers, so this is a little bit of an exception. You can assume that he's going for blink. But sometimes you're going to see 2 stalkers, and that's not going to tell you anything. So, you should have gone in his base, confirmed whatever he was doing. Does he have a robo? Does he have, you know, a DT shrine? Because right now, because you didn't scout, you have a missile turret that's useless, that's 100 minerals wasted. You have another missile turret that's about to be thrown down. That's another 100 minerals wasted. Why is he going for +1 air weapons? The cyclones, too many. When you defend this kind of crap, 2 cyclones is maximum you want to go for. The first cyclone is super strong. The second cyclone you make against Protoss is strong. The third cyclone is crap. The fourth cyclone is garbage. The more cyclones you make, the longer the game goes, the worse they become. It's better to have 1 siege tank than 2 of these cyclones. Because with this blink, he can kill your whole army with proper blink micro. But if you had 1 siege tank, he can't do crap and he has to go back. Cyclones, no bueno. And again, this is what I was talking about. Your build is thrown off. I mean, come on, what is this? Who would ever do this build in a normal game? No one. But because you were thrown off, you turned into a little potato, okay, that was ready for harvesting, and you just potato. You keep making cyclones, which are just, the 5th cyclone is a potato, and you're just not getting any value out of them. And that's why you lost the game. The opener has nothing to do with it. The carriers have nothing to do with it. Your transition had everything to do with it. He did a terrible build, he executed it terribly, and then you killed yourself with your potato transition. Okay? Imagine, check this out. Imagine you were doing what I said, which was delay your CC a bit, get a cyclone, and then just go 3 racks. You would push with stim 3 racks, and you would literally either kill him or at least see that he's going for carriers, and that's game over. But because of all this shenanigans, all these cyclones, you're stuck. You still have no clue what the hell he's doing, because you have no medevacs, no liberators, no banshees, no reaper scouting, and that's what killed you. Boom. There's no reason to go for the rest of the replay, because that's something you need to work on, and that's it. Okay. Let's go this one. Let me see who sent this replay. I'm too spooky 5U. Thank you for gifting sub to My Life for Ire. Thank you, My Life for Ire, for existing. Thank you, Spooky, for that subscription donation. There we go. Boom. And you're putting us, 2 of you are putting us just 1 sub away from the sub goal. Just 1 more. Okay. Okay, Diamond 1 PVZ sent from the toss side. Okay, cool. I could have just checked the clan tag. I don't know why I even opened the email, but whatever. Okay, so Sunny? Pronunciation is very important depending where you're from in Europe. Beastyqt, thank you for existing. You're welcome. I will thank my parents as soon as I finish the stream. But I hope, again, for you watching this later on YouTube, let me know if you enjoyed this series, because it will be a series. Maybe, like, I'm thinking once a week, once every 10 days upload on YouTube. So let me know what you think about it. If you're finding this enjoyable, if you're learning, and if you enjoy that I'm doing, like, all races, not just, you know, Terran. So everyone can learn from different point of views. Because right now, we are checking out the Protoss, from Protoss side. But if you're Zerg, you can also watch this and kind of learn why Protoss is doing certain things. And again, for those that are maybe new to the channel, I'm a Grandmaster with all 3 races. Well, 4 if you include random. So, I'm not the best player, but I do know a little bit about the game. Okay. So let's see. The expense so far has been pretty standard. Blocking the 3rd is very nice. Nice, nice. So far, everything's perfect. The wall off is not. The wall off is potato. So the reason why wall off is potato is you cannot wall this off properly. So I'm not gonna go too in depth how you should wall off and where you should put what because it depends on the map. But check out Showtime, check out Neep, check out Hearthstone, how they wall off on each map if you're not sure, and kind of learn from it. Walling off is extremely important in PvZ, and not walling off properly will lose you games. The reason why this is a potato wall off is because this pylon, first of all, can be Bane busted. And then second, which is actually a bigger thing, if you put a pylon here, you're going to fully wall off. But if you put a pylon here, the pylon is going to be vulnerable because so many links can surround it, like from here, here, and here. If you put a pylon here, what's going to happen is there's going to be, you're going to need 2 units to put in here to properly, make a full wall. So make sure you get your wall ready and done and make the Zerg pay for it. Okay. Let's see what your transition is. See, this is what I mean. You're not going to lose the game because of the wall, don't get me wrong, but it's just like there's better ways to do this. That's all. Okay. One thing I can advise you is, this is something I've seen from pro Protoss players and from potato Protoss players, or from potato Protoss players when I play against them when I'm Zerg. Shield battery is something that became extremely common to just make always. One shield battery is kind of like a safety thing. And then if you see that there's an all incoming, just add like 2-3 more shield batteries. So it's 100 minerals, but okay, you're adding it. Never mind. You're doing great. Okay, the Oracle coming out. Another Oracle, interesting. Okay. Oh, I really like this move. This is something that I've first seen Neep do. And I really like it. It's like a push with no adept glaives, but it's such an awkward time that you can actually kill so many things from the Zerg. But this guy actually has nothing. How did this game go for 22 more minutes? Like at this point, I feel like you should kill at least 10, 15 drones with this. Let's see what happened. You can use, what's it called? Stasis Ward here, and then go for the main base instantly. And then all the queens transferring from here, you can just kill them with oracles and freeze them to death. I did not like that. I think if you do this, shade from here, go straight for the main base or for the natural mineral line. If you shade in the main, put a stasis here, because that was pretty much perfect for you. He had no units at all. So what you were doing at the ramp, it's kind of just bought him time for him to actually defend it, and you killed one drone, which should have been way more. Okay. What you can also do is like another small thing. You can warp 2 more adepts, and while you're doing this attack, you can send the 2 adepts, shade them in here, and just harass this mineral line to make the Zerg kind of fall apart. Alright, let's see your transition. I'm guessing it's going to be Charge Immortal Archon. I don't like the 3rd Oracle. I think 2 Oracles, okay, especially if you're doing this kind of attack. Plus you're going to one-shot drones. 3rd Oracle I think is overkill, and you're just delaying your tech at that point. Make sure you're constantly chrono boosting your forge and your upgrades, but forge, I mean upgrades in general, but forge mainly. At this point you also want to get definitely another pylon here. This is the most Artosis pylon I've seen in a while. But also get a shield battery, just 100 minerals. Sometimes Zergs drop Zerglings that can clean up your mineral line. So one shield battery is really not a big investment, and it can save you a ton of trouble. Also, these gateways right here are something you can use to your advantage. So for example, when you watch pro Protoss players play, what they like to do is, especially defending the third, you don't want to create full wall off like right here, because what that will do is if hydros come, you're going to lose all your gateways. But what you want to do is get a pylon maybe like here, gateway, 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 and then put like 3 shield batteries on this side. So then when the Zerg engages into your third, he's attacking into gateways and your army from this side with shield batteries. So it's kind of like really comfortable for you to deal with the Zerg. And if he pushes into you, you can just force fill this area off and kind of defend it. So you don't want to put your gateways too exposed. But if the Zerg would engage here right now with a lot of links, he can easily surround your probes and go around the Nexus. But if you have 3 gateways here, there's no real way for him to engage your army, even though it's this small and this tiny. And definitely be careful where you place your robos, because it can lose you the game. For example, if the robos, I would like if the robos were like here, and then batteries here. Okay. Zealot charge is done. You already need to have... Okay, you have, never mind. I was going to say you already need to have Templar Archives. Again, make sure you chrono boost that. Yikes. Okay. Something you want to try and do in your games is... This is something a lot of Protoss make mistakes with. Oracles in the past were a harass unit that you kill drones with, or SCVs. But as the players got better, Oracle turned into this unit where you try to do some damage, but the most important thing and the most value you can get from an Oracle is if it stays alive. So try to keep it alive. Not only you can tag user revelation on the opponent's army and just know where they are at all times, but you can also use stasis ward, kill links if they're trying to cancel your fourth base or something like that. When you play against Zerg, if you have 1 or 2 robos, you want to be pumping out immortals, so you don't really want to be making observers, because oracles can do that job. So just try to be a little bit more careful with them. And at that point in the game, don't go that deep. Don't try to do damage. Try to scout if he's doing hive and keep taps on his army with the revelation. That's it. That's all you need to do. 1 war prism is okay. You're making it nice. I mean, so far you're playing pretty well. The macro is a little bit off. That's something you need to work on. The building placement on the natural, the building placement on the third, like I mentioned, is something you need to work on. Here already should have been like 2 shield batteries and 2-3 cannons. You cannot leave a base naked. And now what I love to do with Protoss, this is my favorite thing to do with Protoss. This Warp Prism timing is good. Warp 4 Zealots. And then move your main army here. That's how you Protoss 101. Because if you just put the Zealots here, he's going to come and kill them. But if you show your army on the left side, he's going to move his whole army to the left. And then your War Prism is going to do so much damage. And all you need to do is know where his army is. So if he's sending all his army to the left, that means that your War Prism in the main is going to do so much damage, and all you need to do is avoid the fight where his main army is. So let's say if your army is here, he's pushing through, just pull back and just storm as you run back. If he tries to go back and defend the War Prism, that's when you push into the fort base again. This is not only Protoss 101, but this is also any race 101. Every time you're doing a harassment with a drop specifically, if you just drop, it's just bad. I mean, it's usually not going to work unless your opponent is out of position. But if you attack, show him your main army, scare him, and then you go into with the War Prism and you warp a bunch of units, that's when you can get way more damage done and possibly like straight up win the game off of it. You could do it the other way around too, like show the War Prism and then move your army and snipe the base and just recall. That works as well. But right now, what's happening is you're donating him units. Because loco means crazy, not stupid. Put people in chat. Come on. Come on, know your Spanish, okay? You gotta be fluent in Spanish if you're coming to my stream. So, what's happening right now is you're donating him units. Because there's no main army threat, he's just running around and clearing your zealots, and that's it. And you're just kind of bleeding out money instead of getting value out of them. I mean, you killed 2 drones here, and then you lost all your units. So, definitely not worth. The units loss count pretty much shows that. And again, look, the War Prism comes here. His army is already on the chase. He's gonna pop that with Corruptors, probably. Oh, you can't see it. Never mind.
Our base is under attack.
Our base is under attack. Okay, 2, 3 drones. 4 drones in the Queen for like 8 zealots. Not worth. Again. And he's slowly but surely taking to GG Lords. Zealot Warping in the main with some DTs. See, this is the first little bit of damage. And you might be like, oh, that was good. I killed drones. How many drones did you kill? Let's look. 12 drones in total. So you killed like 7, 8 drones here. So you might be like, oh, I did some damage. This is actually a really bad trade for you. Because, number one, you lost the War Prism. So you have no pressure on that side of the map. So he knows that there's another War Prism here that he can just go and kill. Another thing is 5 DTs is a lot of gas. Like you need to kill a base, or I mean the Spire Snipe was good, but is it worth 5 DTs? I don't know. Okay, DTs on this side, very nice damage. But again, all of this, like I'm actually impressed with how you're playing. Again, macro is a little bit off. You're playing super well. The only thing you should have done is this army should have been on the map long time ago. And all of this would have been way more successful. Way more successful. Like, imagine this. You just killed the base. Imagine now the War Prism in the main comes. Warps in like 5 Zealots and 3 DTs, and you're killing this base. That is game over. That is literally game over. Because you're going to snipe this. If he chases your army, you just throw storms. If he goes to the main, you go to the third. Bam, bam. That's done. The game's done. So try to time out your attacks a little bit more. Good recall. Good recall. Overall, good gameplay. Could have been a lot better. With just few simple things. How did you lose this game? You have carriers in that as well. Another good Zealot harass. This War Prism right now, like this. Okay, so you had Zealot harass here just now. This War Prism should have gone into the main base, and then the main army should have gone here. So always try to think like to attack 2 or 3 sides at the same time. To kind of, how do I put this? When you play chess, I don't know how many people play chess here, but you should know the basic rules. When you play chess, if you just do like check on the king, he can just move away, and that's what the guy was doing. You harass with zealots, he comes and kills it. But if you do it with 3 different things, at 3 different attacks, he has to lose something. He cannot defend perfectly, otherwise he would be a pro gamer and would be in GSL. So, a little bit better timing of the attacks, and you're gonna be a banjo in no time. Potato no more, I say. I love these DTs, a very nice harassment. Your 5th should have been a lot quicker, by the way, and it should be here. Like, a lot quicker, because you got this 4th a long time ago. So a little bit faster 5th. Make sure you get your expand going, don't stop expanding. Okay, you got wrecked, absolutely wrecked. Okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Okay, so with how the game went so far, if I was you, I would be like, up until this point, I would be like, I have to be ahead. You know, I'm sniping bases, I'm dropping in the main, I have this war prism. What you want to do is buy as much time as you can. And also when you go carriers, make sure you're getting weapon upgrades, because it's extremely important. So make sure you're buying as much time as you can. So right now, here you engaged kind of too fast in my opinion. And that's what kind of, you know, had a lot of influence with you losing the game. So what I would have liked you to do is, after seeing this, which is you're about to, I would have gone back. Like at this point, I would be like, your whole army is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp a bunch of things just like you did. Go for the Greater Spire. Just send DTs everywhere. Because at that point, what you're doing is you're putting him completely all in. Like, these DTs are winning you the game right now. So all you need to do is not throw the game away. Because that's the only way you can lose it if you potato at this point. So what I would have liked you to do, get an expand on this side. If he goes for this base, sacrifice it. Because you're killing everything he has. So expand here, send some zealots maybe on this side just to start clearing up bases, this one or this one or this one. Keep the DTs rolling, send one or two of these DTs in the natural, and just keep pulling back. Keep making carriers if you have the supply, which right now you're a little bit supply blocked. Keep making carriers, and the only units that you want to have against this army at this point is either carrier or archons. Archons are super good against Brutalords. They have so much health that the Brutalords cannot really chew through them. And once Archons get underneath Brutalords, the game is done for them. So what you did here is kind of stopped and fought the Zerg. You should have kept doing this. Run back and storm. Run back and storm. Just run this way and just keep storming the Zerg. But here, you go for the engage. The High Templars, having in mind, have no coverage. So you had 8 High Templars, and I have 6, and they're all going to die from Brutalord's fire. And that is the problem, because you didn't get all your storms out. Plus, not only didn't get your storms out, they didn't turn into Archon, so you didn't get that extra value. But even with that, you could have still tried to run away from the battle. Look at how much gas you have. Just warp in a bunch of High Templars. Even wait for Storm again if you want. Just sacrifice this base. It doesn't matter. Like, he's losing the game on this side. And just try to re-engage the Zerg. He wiped out the whole ground army, so the only thing he has is the Corruptors and Brutalords. And that alone cannot defeat your economy that you have going on right now. Stalkers are a no choice here. If you have too many minerals at this point and you don't know what to do with it, what I would suggest is warp like 6 Zealots and the rest is warp High Templars. Because that's all you need. Archon, Storm, or Carrier. Stalkers at this point would be nice if you had Blink, but you didn't have Blink this game, so not worth it. What you can even do is send some of these Immortals across the map, because you saw that there's no ground army here. The DTs... Wait, where are the DTs? Something killed them. Whatever. Either way, you killed all of his tech. Like, I mean, he has Hive here, but he lost Spawning Pool, he lost Spire, and he's gonna have a very hard time producing anything of value. Like this army right now, without storms, without archons, cannot defeat this. think this is gonna be it. My mouse is not working. Mouse, please. There we go. Another piece of advice for Protoss players. Every time you cannot win a fight, don't fight it. I know that's so stupid to say, right? Like, when you can't win a fight, don't fight, right? But when you know this moment right here, I'm gonna go back. This moment right here, you know you cannot fight this. Or even earlier, actually. Hold on. So right here, this is where you lost the fight. You cannot fight that army. You just can't. Instantly go across the map. Try to make something happen. You have to think, like, his army is slow, right? So I'm losing the base. I'm probably going to lose this base as well. So I might as well go across the map, kill his base, try to make him pull back, try to make something out of it. But just staying here and trying to fight with something that you know is going to lose is not something you want to do. I'm going to go till the end of the game to see if anything else happens. It seems it's just going to be like a base raid at this point. But you could have wiped out all of his buildings by now if you attacked a lot earlier. When I mentioned it. In theory, you can still win this game easily. I was gonna say easily, kind of easily, but not really. But if you snipe the overseers, you can win with DTs in these kinds of situations. So what I would try to do is try to hunt the overseers with stalkers, and then just send DTs everywhere and try to win that way. Did you guys see what he wrote? Excellent harass, the best I've seen. Honestly, this was a really good game from our Protoss boy over here. It's not as much as like, oh, you're doing this wrong, you need to fix it. He's doing everything right, to be honest. He just needs to do it a little bit better and just time it out a little bit better. But overall, that was a pretty good, pretty impressive gameplay. I liked it. Everything made sense. Like I said, a couple of things since this was a long game to just kind of repeat what I had in mind. So building placement, try to do it a little bit better. Get one shield battery in the main. Get 2-3 shield batteries in the third. Keep expanding. When you harass with the War Prism, try to move your main army as far away from that War Prism and attack on the other side of the map. So if you're doing a War Prism harassing the main, try to attack the 4th, the 5th base with your main army and try to pull the Zerg out of position. But overall, honestly, you played pretty well. And that's it. That is it. Make sure if you're going carriers, carriers are like Zerglings and Marines. You need to upgrade their attack to get the huge DPS increase, because interceptors deal very low damage. Every time you get weapon upgrade, you increase the overall damage per second, the DPS, by a lot. So make sure you have that going. But I mean, he was a Diamond 2, Diamond 1. But that was a very good game, honestly. Like, if he had like a little bit better macro, I would say he's like Master 1 or 2. Like, I'm not even joking. That was good. That was good. Like, the game knowledge was very good. Very good. Very nice. He's 4.4? How did I see that he's diamond? Hold on. He's diamond 1. But I think that was definitely a master gameplay, to be honest. I mean, I'm not sure what his win rate in the other matchups is, but that was definitely definitely good. Definitely good. Okay. I'm gonna sub earlier. Rue77, thank you so much for resubbing. Thank you for putting us one sub away from the sub goal. Very nice. And welcome back. Okay. Our last replay of the night, boys. Wait, what? Oh, this is... I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Knee Minerals? Knee Minerals? Which is our blue Terran playing against Court. Right? I'm getting very confused because the email names are different than the in-game names. And all of these, like a lot of these, or 2 or 3 of these replays were from the round-robin tournament. So I'm not sure who's who. I think we're looking at a... See, that's what I mean. New Minerals has a different name in StarCraft. Okay, so he just confirmed in chat. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, so this wasn't a round-robin. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so next time you guys submit your replays, please include in-game name so I know who I'm casting. Because like I said, sometimes your Discord or Twitch StarCraft name is different. And it's kind of hard to keep track of. But again, I want to mention this for the people watching this on YouTube or on Twitch now. Anyone can submit these replays. I will be doing these kind of replay analysis once a week, once every 10 days or something like that. I will be picking replays randomly. There's more info on my Discord server, how you can submit your replays and how to submit them properly. And that's it. Okay. So first things first, honestly my advice to you would be, like, that's kind of the biggest thing, to not go for 3 ranks. 3 ranks, he's a diamond player, and the higher you go in leagues, master or GM, you're going to be struggling with this more and more, and it will not be working more and more. The reason for that is Cloak, Banshee, Harass will destroy you completely. Like, if someone recognizes this, when you play against good players, you will not be able to defend Cloak, Banshee properly. You can make turrets in the mineral lines, but you will bleed out Marines, you will bleed out SCVs, and you won't be able to catch the Banshee. The second thing is, if he's going for like a reactor proxy cyclones or something, you will simply die. If he's going for any kind of cheesy opening with Liberator and then like, Liberator here and then like Cyclone push here off of one base, you will have a really hard time dealing with that as well. Any kind of Reaper play, you'll have problems, kind of like this game. You lost 3 workers, but you also lost quite a bit of mining time here because of those 2 Reapers, and the 2 Reaper investment is not big at all. So already if you look at the units lost, you're behind because you actually can't make units that are usually made in TVT. So he's ahead 6 workers already, while he kind of can't deflect everything with these units in the early game. And if you look at his production, it's similar to yours. And this is very similar to the game we saw. I think it was the first game that we saw from Court, where if he just doesn't die now, I feel like he is in a better position because of the faster third and because he has better economy and better production. I mean, he's already making tanks, and tanks are super, super important, TVT. So, doing these kinds of builds, like with 3 racks, is very risky, I guess, if the opponent knows what he's doing. And if you don't do some damage right now, you're just behind whole game. He's having double engineering bay going, and he can actually support double engineering bay going into 2-2 upgrades, but you can't because your economy is weaker and you don't have a third yet. Meanwhile, his third not only is about to be done, but it's already on the spot as well. I like the drop. His Viking should definitely be here with the Raven. Let's look at the unit count. 18 to 21. He's already very, very far ahead in economy and production as well, and the army. So at this point, if you're already in these kinds of games, you need to do some kind of drop, some kind of maneuver to kind of come back into the game. But that I think will be very, very hard to do. One thing you can... Oh, you don't have combat shields. That is a big, big issue. If you had combat shields, you can actually break this right now. Only 2 tanks with a little bit of like pulling Marines forward and then splitting, you can actually just kill this super easily. But no combat shields is going to make a very, very big difference. Yeah. You still break it, which is nice. Oh, I like this drop. I always... Ooh. See, this is the reason why you go for the 1-1-1 after expanding instead of 3 racks. Look at this. Yummy. Yummy. And this is one of those games where you might feel like you're doing well. You know, like, oh, I killed his army in the third, I killed the SCVs, you know, I killed 18 SCVs, but I still lost the game. But even with all that, you're still behind on absolutely everything. And I'm gonna prove it to you. So open the worker tab, 58 to 57, which is like, well, we're equal. Yes, but he has a 4th base. If you look at the production, you have 5 barracks with no add-ons, 1 factory, 1 starport. He has 8 barracks with 2 factories. Like, his production is done completely. Upgrades. He has 2-2 going. Terran ship weapons. That's interesting. Not sure that's a misclick or he's going to transition to... No, that's a misclick. Why would you go 2 factories in ship and then ship weapons? This is a mistake. He has 2-2 going. Meanwhile, yours didn't even start. And then the last thing is he has 56 Marines and a Raven against 30 Marines and no Raven. So it's one of those things, one of those games where it is the opening, and having a different opening, maybe you're used to opening 3 racks, but I think you slowly need to transition and learn to do the 1-1-1 because it is just way better. It's not about what's, you know, what you prefer. It literally will not work eventually, and you will be losing a lot of games, or maybe not losing straight away, but you will be behind from beginning because of it. Forgetting combat shields is also very, very big. Yeah, your Marines get absolutely blasted, and he's, well, do not. The reason why people don't really make Vikings, by the way, this late in the game, is because Vikings are only good on either small maps, when you play against mech, or in chokes, like when you're pushing, for example, let's say it's 2 base against 1, so if you're pushing here into the natural, Vikings are good. But the reason why the Vikings are not good at this point is because, let's say you have the air control, like right here. He doesn't need to stay here. He can literally just unsiege and move around or move this way, and that's it. But when you're fighting on chokes, he can't really do that. That's why Vikings are good. But at this point as well, you have so many orbitals, you can just scan every once in a while and make sure if you're stuck in certain position where you can't move, in, you know, him, for example, he can just scan every once in a while. So you would rather have medevacs because the medevacs give you the potential to do a doom drop, plus heal up your units. Like here right now, can load up everything and just keep some of the units here, and you won't be able to break this efficiently. And he's going to win the game by just doing a huge doom drop. So medevacs is something you really need. And unless you're going like mech, you don't really need to get the air control in buy against buy. Well, let's speed things up. Yeah, your Marines are too dead from the stimming, and then also, you know, no medevacs to heal them up, no combat shield, and that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. He's also making a lot of Vikings, which is interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You need to change up the build. Make sure you get your upgrades going. The third base is very popular in TVT. Just kind of like opening fast expand, getting, you know, either Cyclones or 1 or 2 Ravens, a Viking, and then just going into third. Or do something like I was doing with, if you plan to go mech, you can just go Reactor Cyclones into third base. Either one is good. So yeah, that's it. Let's leave the game. This was my first episode of this new series where I analyze your guys' replays. Let me know if you're watching this later on YouTube or not on Twitch chat. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if I should change something. Again, I will be doing this about every 10-ish days. If you want to submit your replays, no matter if you're a subscriber or not, anyone can do it. All you need to do is join my Discord server. You have all the information there on how to submit your replays. And that's it. I hope you guys learned something new today. I want to thank you guys for watching. I wish you to have a very nice day, a good night, and I'll see you boys next time.